Welcome to For Couples Only, a safe place to discuss issues and challenges regarding relationships. Now, this week we want to talk about something that I'm sure affects many people, maybe even a loved one. A week ago yesterday, students at Savannah High School and Savannah Early College experienced a traumatic experience with an active shooter call, which later turned out to be a hoax, according to the Board of Education. There were many students that had to be evacuated from the building, along with teachers, administration, and staff. And I am sure that affected the parents, who were very upset, the children, who were definitely very upset and traumatized by this event that, as I know of, has never happened here in Savannah Chatham County School. So today we're going to discuss mental health and how we can help those that we love that have experienced an event that has impacted them mentally, psychologically, or emotionally. So today we have my friend Kiara, and she's the owner of Let's Vent and the Man Cave.
Yes.
And she's going to talk to us about mental health and how we can help our loved ones, our children who may still be impacted by what happened on last week, or even our co-workers or the teachers or just anyone in general who may have been impacted by something that is inevitably impacting their mental health. So welcome, Kiara.
Thank you for having me.
So my first question for you is, what is mental health? You hear it all the time. Protect your mental health. Protect your mental health. What is mental health?
By definition, mental health is the study of your mind, psychology, or your emotional well-being.
Okay. And so when you talk about emotional well-being, that really impacts functioning just in general. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that event that happened last week at Savannah High and Savannah Early College may have many of our kids, teachers, administrative staff who were involved, even our parents who were involved, may be experiencing something called PTSD,
Yes.
which stands for post-traumatic stress disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, what does that look like? How would you know if you have a loved one that is experiencing PTSD?
With PTSD, I would say when somebody goes through a traumatic experience, so being that it was a hoax, but most students now in their mind is just wondering of what. So normally you'll see like a blank stare, shakes, sweats, just typical things that would, like, some people literally freeze when they flash back to what happened. So with the shooting being that it was a hoax, a lot of students were afraid to even walk in the building, and most parents don't realize that's a traumatic experience that they went through, and their mind is still thinking, okay, this could be something that could potentially happen.
Right, exactly. So my daughter, my oldest daughter, she is a student at Savannah Early College, and she definitely was affected. She didn't want to go to school the next day. We did not force her to go to school at all. And we talked to her about what happened. We walked her through what exactly happened. And she told us, police came in with shotguns and told everybody to put their hands up. And she said, I couldn't even take my stuff. I had to just leave. She said, and then we were standing in the rain and we didn't know if someone was hurt. We didn't know if someone was injured. And she had, her friends with her. So I think that made it a little better for her. And then there's a family that goes to my church, and their daughter is in school with my daughter. So they kind of had each other. But what about the kids who maybe didn't have a friend at that school, or don't have someone at home, or maybe they're scared to even relive that moment? What do you tell our parents of those children who need to be able to process what has happened?
I would say for parents, just creating a safe space, and even for those that don't really necessarily have a mother or father figure in their life, your aunt, the aunts, uncles, grandmas, just creating a space for them to be able to come to say, hey, I really feel like I can't go into school today. And it was a good thing that you didn't force your daughter to go, because a lot of times parents tend to, ain't nothing wrong with you, just go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But they haven't experienced what it was like to have the police come into school,
Mm-hmm.
choppers loaded, ready to take out whoever.
Mm-hmm.
So as a parent, a guardian, make it comfortable for them to say, hey, I'm feeling this, and make it okay to say, you know, I respect how you feeling, so let me let you have this mental break.
Okay. So now, you know, a lot of our kids, you'll go, are you okay? And they go, yeah, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes, because as parents, we go, oh, okay. And we, you know, go about our day, about our routine, when really, because how many of us have said, when someone asks, hey, how you doing? We go, oh, I'm great.
Right.
But on the inside, we're just exploding.
Messed
like,
up.
you know,
Mhm.
if you can see on the inside, maybe a cartoon, and it'd probably be like an explosion in our minds.
Yes.
Because really we're not. But we have mastered the art of, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I'm fine. How are you doing? So how do we help our loved ones understand and help them break through the I'm fine wall?
That's a good question. In my business with Let's Vent, I tell everybody that, you know, I'm a safe space. So if you tell me that you're fine, I'm not going to push the issue, but I'm still going to be there for you to say, hey, I'm still here. And I feel like that's what everybody should have, that in a situation where somebody is saying, hey, I'm fine. Okay, you know, whenever you need me, I'm here, but don't say, I can tell that you're not fine, because now it's going to have them shut down. Like when I'm ready to talk, then I'll talk. And that, for me, my mechanism is shutting down. So if you keep pushing the issue, I'm going to shut down. But if I feel like I can trust you and I feel like you're really a safe space for me, like you're really there, then eventually when I'm ready to open up, then I will let you know, okay, this is what. And a lot of the teens that I've come in contact with, you still just have, hey, just checking in on you. They might not say how they feeling, but as long as you keep saying, hey, I'm here for you, eventually they'll say, let me reach out to Miss Kiara because this is going on. Let me reach out to Miss Tiffany because this is going on. As long as they know they have somebody that they could talk to and that's not forcing them to open up, they'll open up.
Okay. And let's talk about the whole forcing to open up, because like you said, you have the one side where parents will go, hey, nothing wrong with you, come on, let's go. And then you have the other parent, you're gonna talk to me and we gonna sit here. And the kid is looking at them like, well, then I guess we sitting here because I don't have anything
I
to
have nothing to say.
So how do you find that, I guess, that median for not just kids but people in general who, you know, especially if it's a loved one, you kind of sense when something's off with them, but you can't seem to break past that, them just looking at you going, I'm good, I don't have nothing to say. How do you break past that and get them to open up?
I would say changing the narrative of, it goes to like the generational curses. You know, for generations, families have been taught what goes on in this house stays in this house.
Yep.
Children have been raised, you can't tell me you mad, that's being disrespectful. So changing how you came up to maybe saying, okay, you could tell me how you feel, but you're not going to disrespect me.
Okay.
But just having that open door of saying, okay, I'm here for you. Convey how you feel, but also remember, I'm still your parent, I'm still your grandma, I'm still a counselor, you know, those things like that. But don't necessarily shut them out completely and force them to say, because we gonna sit here. It's almost like when a child say, I'm full. Parents tend to say, you ain't full, you only ate 2 peas, so you gonna sit there and you gonna eat those peas. And that's how it is in the mental realm. Like if you're forcing me to say how I feel, then I'm not gonna tell you how I feel, because in that case, it has to be something like the person really has to be in a place of, first of all, it's being comfortable with talking to you. And if there's no comfort, y'all just be sitting there all day.
Looking at each other. All right. So somebody give in.
Right.
Okay. So, how do you create a safe space, just in general, not just for our kids, but for our loved ones, our spouses, our aunts, uncles, grandparents, because like you said, for the African American community, we tend to go, I'm not going to therapy. I don't need no therapist. It's nothing wrong with me. When we aren't functioning to our fullest potential, because in essence there is something wrong. There's stress piling up at the job or at home, or something's going on with a loved one that really has you worried and distracted. So how do we create that safe space, especially in our community and our culture, that says it's okay to say you're not okay?
Right. For me, I would say first, listen to understand and not listen to respond, because most of the time in conversations when you're trying to figure out what's going on with somebody, it's either, oh, I hear you, I've been there before. I didn't come to you to tell me that you've been there before. I come to you to say, you know, help me, show me, hug me. It's all right, give me a pat on the back, something, but don't, you know, they call it gaslighting. Don't kind of deflect what I'm saying, because now I feel like you really don't care. And then also too, keep in mind that everybody's feelings matter. So they may be thinking you don't care. Don't say that's not true. I take good care of you. But ask me, why do I feel that way? Don't just shut me down immediately when I say, especially with children and teens, when they say, you know, I think I'm going to depress. You ain't depressed. You don't know what depressed is. That's an automatic, you know what? I tried to come to you, so I'm shutting down. So make it a very, very, very important that you listen to understand how they feel, but also know that their feelings do matter. Just because you might not think they're depressed, they could really be depressed.
Okay. And how can we help parents help their kids process what has happened? Because I'm sure for a lot of kids who may have never even come that close to a police officer before, and then to let alone come in contact under those circumstances, is a lot. It's a lot to deal with. It's a lot to look at and think about and understand the whole scenario of what even happened.
Right.
So how can parents help their kids process what has happened?
For one, the parents have to see it from the child's eye. Put yourself in their shoe, so that way you can kind of understand when they say, well, when that police came through the door, I thought he was going to shoot me. Don't say he wasn't even there for you. Just say, well, what made you think that? Just kind of keep the door open of I'm trying to feel what you're saying, as opposed to, well, it was fake, so I don't understand why you still scared.
Exactly. Because in that moment, it wasn't fake. Exactly. It was very, very real in that moment. And then I've had the privilege of talking to a couple of kids who actually attend Savannah High, and I've had a couple that said, I'm not going back. And I understood that. I totally understood that. So for our parents who may have kids that say, I'm not going back, or I don't want to go back, what do you say to the parents?
Give them time, but not too much time, because by law, they're supposed to go to school. So if they miss too many days, then of course it's truancy, and then the police will be coming knocking on your door. But give them that time to say, okay, I'm going to give you 2 days. After 2 days, we're going to come up with a plan to say, even if that's just you getting through the front door, making it through first period, call me. If it's too much, call me. I'll come. That way, you're marked present for school day, and you're not allowing the trauma that you experienced to take over.
And also for our parents, there are other options. There's online, the E-Academy.
You could do that.
Parents may be able to request that their child be switched to an online program, so that they're still able to do their work. They're still counted for the school day, but they're not in the space where the traumatic event happens.
Right.
So those are options for parents who may have children at home who do not want to return back to the building. So let's take this process and let's switch gears to couples. Because being in a relationship is stressful, y'all.
Stressful.
I'm just saying, there are moments when you like, wow, I'm here. But so I mean, because we're all very busy, we all have careers, and if you decided maybe to go back to school, or you have kids, or whatever the case may be, those are outside stresses that sometimes we bring into the inside. And so your spouse or your significant others go, "Good morning, what's good about it?" You like, "I just said good morning. I didn't do it. I wasn't even there when it happened." So how can we help our loved ones work through the stress, just the general stresses of life, just life?
I would say, especially in a couple, basically understanding that I have my things that I'm dealing with, you have your things that you're dealing with, but also knowing that you're not alone to deal with those. But you also, if you are stressful, you can't take that out on me. I'm here to help you. So trying to find a plan that works for y'all.
Okay.
And it could be, I had a bad day at work. Can you just give me 10 minutes to myself? Just 10 minutes. And that 10 minutes can really change the dynamic of how the house is going to flow. Because the worst thing you do is say, "Can I get 10 minutes by myself?" And at the 8-minute mark, "I need to tell you about such and such." So now I'm getting even more mad because I just asked you, "Please, can you just give me 10 minutes?" So you also have to respect what somebody else is feeling as well.
Exactly. And I know sometimes in a relationship, especially if kids are involved, like when I pick my kids up from school, it's, "Let me tell you this, let me tell you that, and this way," and I have to say, "Can I get," because I just left work, so can I get before you tell me about your day, because I do want to hear about it. Can I get these 10 minutes of the ride? Let me get my mind together, and then tell me everything that happened.
Right.
And so we have to, I guess, learn to create those boundaries, if you will,
boundaries
about giving ourselves that mental break.
Right.
For lack of a better word, of I need that space to just process what happened to me, because my boss just ripped me a new one. And so I'm still mad from that. I'm sitting here writing my resignation letter in my head right now, knowing I need this job. So I need you to not, can you
please?
All right. So how can we create that safe space at home as a spouse? What can we offer our other spouse or our significant other when we see that they may be upset or stressed, and it could be a loved one is sick in the family and that we could be stressed about that. So what can we do for our significant others?
I would say doing the things that you know that they love. So if you, let's say, my husband, when he was going through with the passing of his aunt, although I didn't want to say I feel where you are, because I had just lost my grandfather 2 weeks prior, but I made sure that regardless of what I was dealing with, he's hurting too. So let me cook you some oxtails. Let me get you your favorite drink. Let me, just sit here. Let me hug you. Let you know that I'm here for you. And most couples, that is something that I feel should be, I guess, to set the boundaries of, letting them know that I'm here for you. Just doing those things that will make them feel good, as opposed to, well, if I'm going through, I want somebody to buy me flowers, so let me buy him flowers. He don't like flowers, so why are you buying him flowers? So do something that
and most men
would pick him up or make him feel like, okay, you did have a stressful day at work. Go in the room, watch the game. You cook, you clean. Just make sure that there's that time for him to, I guess, decompress and stress relief, and even vice versa for the spouse, the husband to the wife. Give that wife some time to, okay, I just know you had a long day at the office. I'm going to get the kids. You go get your hair done, get your nails done, do something that's relaxing to you, so that way you can be the best wife, the best mother that I need you to be.
And that's very important, especially if you do have children, little, small children, it doesn't matter. Sometimes you got to go to the kids and go, Mommy,
just give me 5 minutes.
Give Mommy about 30 minutes, or give Daddy about 30 minutes. And then, you can go in there, removing that one less thing that they got to either deal with or think about. So what would you say to the couple or a spouse or love, significant other, whatever, that when their significant other says, I need help, I need outside help?
If your spouse, well, what I would say is if they do come to you and say, I need help, get them the help that they need. And sometimes it could be your pastor, and then most times you hear a lot of people say, well, I don't want to go to anybody that knows me, because sometimes you feel like the help that you're going to get is pretty biased, or they just helping you because they know you. So do the best that you can to find them that outside help. And it don't even have to be a counselor. It could be his best friend, be her best friend. It could just be somebody that you know will listen to them to make sure. But if it's to the point where it's like, I don't know if I want to be alive or anything, then you really get the help immediately, not wait on it and say, oh, we just gonna pray about this thing and God gonna do it. Yeah, pray, but also work after the prayer to say, okay, God, lead me to where I should take my spouse, lead me to where we should go if it's a couples thing that needs help, if both parties need help, lead us to where we should go. Don't just pray and, oh, I prayed and God just gonna handle the rest. No, you gotta put in the work too. So when they say, hey, I'm really in a bad place right now, fine, like literally stop what you're doing and say, okay, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna get the help that you need.
Exactly. So as we close this segment, we just want everybody to know that take care of you, because if you don't take care of you, nobody else will. Number one. And if your child comes to you and they are in need of help, listen to them. Get them the help that they need. There are many agencies here in Savannah that will help your child or your loved one get the mental assistance that they need. And by all means, if you have someone, know of someone, or if you yourself are contemplating suicide, please call the suicide hotline. Thank you for tuning in to For Couples Only, and we will see you next week.